Hello and welcome back to the DayLuna Human Design Podcast with your hosts Dana and Shayna. We are doing a solo episode, a pep talk, this time for reflectors. If you've been listening to this series where we've done a pep talk for all of the types, reflectors, you are not left out. We are not putting you at the end. You own your spot. You belong here. In fact, you're the most important, and we love getting to love you up. We love the reflectors in our lives, and you're rare, you're few and far between, but you deserve all the love just as much. So get ready to not only be loved up, but to be roasted just a tiny bit. And but roasted with love, to call you out, just so that way you can step more into owning your shit and owning yourself and really claiming your power, because reflectors are not, I think that there can be a misconception that reflectors are like meek, so sensitive souls that just like drift in and out of the world and places and people and things. And no, like projectors are freaking powerhouses because they have the capacity to reflect back anything that they are around, and that can be some powerful shit. It can also be some crazy shit, and it can also be some like wispy little weak shit too. I don't hate to say that because I don't think anyone thinks reflectors are weak, but I think that reflectors can feel like they just don't get as much support as they need to, and that to them feels like a weak foundation to be standing on.
Or I think it's just like our conditioning and our societal stories tell us that consistency is strength. Like we are so taught that if you are consistent every day and you show up the same in the same way at the same time with the same energy, that's what creates a strong foundation. So reflectors are so opposite from that. I feel like society tells you like the fact that you're always flowing, the fact that you need to collaborate with the universe, that you need to allow life to bring you surprises, the fact that your energy is dependent on other people and the environments that you're in, all of that inconsistency and change tells us that reflectors have no strong foundation like within who they are, you know, I put in quotes, but really reflectors are here to show us that our ultimate strength, especially as we move into the new paradigm, is our receptivity. It is our openness. It is our willingness to collaborate with life and to be a vessel for life to move through us instead of just focusing on this like masculine, linear, consistent, old paradigm ass story that is not going to be valuable in the new paradigm. So reflectors, we are here to dive into celebrating your energy, talking about the challenges that society might not always recognize for you with honoring your energy, and how you can celebrate and recognize those challenges within yourself, because ultimately that is what builds you up. It's like really being seen for the challenges that you have as your type as a reflector. And let's be honest, it is such a rare and unique journey to be a reflector. I definitely think that it can be one of the more challenging types. However, it's also for sure the most special and sensitive and empathetic, and I want to say it's like the type of all of the types that you're the most like a blessing to the people around you and to your space and to your community. So we're really excited to dive in because right from the top, reflectors are unicorns. We celebrate you. We cherish you in this human design space. I actually just met a friend recently who is a reflector, and we were like sitting and having coffee, and I didn't think she knew very much about human design at all, so I wasn't even bringing it up. I was waiting to be invited as a projector.
Per usual.
She was like, yeah, I'm a reflector. And I was like, and literally like spit out my coffee and choked on my spit. And she was like, is that a big deal? And I was like, bitch, you have no idea. And so
you're like, let me double check your chart.
Yeah.
Make sure you're not a projector saying reflector.
Right.
We see that a lot, but she's actually a reflector.
She's actually a reflector. And honestly, being a reflector, I feel like is so special that sometimes it's hard to even talk about, because it's like, if you know, you know. But in this episode, we're going to dive into it. So let's start off from the beginning. You know, as a reflector, Obviously, your energy is completely undefined. You're completely open to other people. And let's talk about what that looks like on an auric level. Your aura as a reflector is sampling. You taste test other people's energy and literally like almost think of consuming their energy, and then you digest their energy and become their energy temporarily through an embodied sense. And that's different than the focused aura of a projector, because a projector's aura is peering into the other and absorbing their frequency without becoming it. It's much more of like a mental analysis or a psychological analysis of another person's energy. Whereas as a reflector, it's more like you are soaking up their energy like a sponge, and your entire body experiences their energy. And through that embodied sense, you then get to gauge the health and well-being and also just the frequency in general of this person's energy. And you can cultivate so much wisdom about where this person might be out of alignment, where they might be inauthentic or unhealthy or not really able to fully resonate with their own frequency, like places, like little places where they're kind of just off resonance. But the big thing that we want to say is that this is an embodied experience for you. It's less about the mental analysis and like how a projector is like obsessed with other people and they can't stop thinking about it. As a reflector, it's much more of a natural, intuitive embodiment experience of sensing, engaging, and understanding other people. Now, that's really beautiful because it is a natural gift that you have, and you get to really be able to cultivate so much wisdom because you get to experience so many different types of people's energies in your own body. You literally get to try on for size their aura, their frequency. And so as a reflector, collecting these sampling experiences, I like to say it's like going to like a buffet and taste testing every person's energy and putting on that energy for size, or the people that you're wanting to reflect. That gives you like, you almost get to try on a different avatar every person that you're reflecting, and you get to experience what does life feel like from this standpoint, from this energy experience. And that ultimately is such a great gift. But of course, all of this stuff happening in your body and not necessarily in your mind or in your analysis like a projector does. You know, for a reflector, it's really like your body kind of can take the toll of these experiences of taste testing and sampling people if you're not clearing yourself out. And so a lot of reflectors end up wanting to close themselves off from feeling other people, because it just is a lot to take in other people's experience and to digest it and to become it and to experience it through their body if you're not doing your energetic hygiene, you're not taking care of yourself. And so this is where the part of your aura comes in, where you have this like Teflon quality, this resistant quality. And that is here to protect yourself from other people when you feel like it's not healthy for you to take in that person's energy. You can sort of like brick wall them and choose to do that. But it's important to not get stuck in that space because you're trying to protect yourself, right? As a reflector, your greatest gift is your sensitivity, is your empathy, is your ability to taste test and try on people's energy and become that. It's just, you're also here to have your energetic hygiene, to clear those things out, to put yourself in environments that feel good and to do things that are supporting you so that you don't get into a place where you close down that sensitivity and try to just resist everyone and protect yourself from feeling other people.
And I think that it's like you're going to go through times of your life where you feel really open and fun in sampling the different energies around you. And then you're going to go through times in your life where actually having the boundaries and like putting on that Teflon kind of wall energy that Dana's talking about can be something that's super supportive for you and helpful for you. And then you're going to go through times of your life where you are overly protecting yourself and hiding away from feeling the world and other people. And it's knowing that you are meant to be this sensitive. You are meant to sample other people, but it's just that like choosing what you want to eat, right? Choosing who you want to sample or the environment that you want to sample, and letting that be guided by each day and what that day is bringing you. I really love that reflectors are meant to go through feeling all of the different authorities throughout the month. And that's why you're meant to wait a 28-day lunar cycle. I think that when you first hear waiting a 28-day lunar cycle, it's like, what the fuck am I listening to? Like, what? And then when you really get to realize that you're going through, because of the way the moon shifts and it's activating different things in your body, the gates that you have that are consistent for you, you are going to some days have splenic authority or emotional authority or sacral authority or G center, or literally all of the different 8 authorities. You're going to cycle through them. And that's amazing. Like, how magical is that? How awesome is that you get to access your truth from all of these different lenses, and none of them are consistent. Like, you can't have that truth maybe tomorrow or the next day. That's why you have the whole month to really cycle through all of these things to get that clarity. I think that's awesome. But I will, going back to like sampling, I think that I've observed a lot of reflectors who either get so swept up in life that because they don't know that they're reflectors, for instance, and they get so swept up in life and just like with the conditioning that we have, and they get stuck in a job forever, or they get stuck living with that toxic person forever, and they can feel like, how do I make this change when I'm just reflecting the thing around me that I don't like? And that's where I think having that Teflon energy and that choice of, okay, I don't like how this person feels. I don't like how this environment feels. I don't like how this job feels. Like, it's making me sick. It's making me feel unwell or toxic or whatever it is. To choose to like take a different way home from work, to go into a different coffee shop or a different restaurant, to travel, to go to like a meetup circle or something where you're around different people and different places, to go take a class where you make friends that are just in a different energy. Go on a retreat, like all of these different things where you get to then reflect something different than what you're in right now, and kind of putting up that like, okay, I'm closing off that sensitivity or that what I've been reflecting, and I'm choosing to taste test something else, to sample something else. And that's good. I think that that's needed. But of course, it's like that double-edged sword that Dana was just talking about, where you can get into a place of like protection mode and wanting to really protect yourself. I definitely think I've seen a lot more often reflectors that are just so swept up with the people and the things around them that they are lost in it. And it does take, like, it's a part of your life lessons that you came here, that you chose this design to learn how to navigate and find your power as a reflector. And just like all the types, you know, choosing this time in our collective history and being the leader, the ones to put language to and navigate and see how this is lived out in this current time as all of these things are shifted. Like, you're the way shower for all the reflectors to come of how that actually looks and how we can really do that. So permission slip granted, or if you want, you're invited to lead and to share your journey and to share the things that you are finding that feel good in your body. I think that we need more reflectors sharing what feels good in their body. Like, if you're this barometer that's sensing the collective health, we need reflectors to say, I feel this feels toxic. I feel sick. I feel energized. I feel expanded. I feel collapsed. Like, we need the reflectors to be visible for us to know how we're all doing collectively.
Yeah. So let's talk about some things that you can focus on that are going to support your energy as you move through the world. And when you support your own energy as a reflector, You support everyone in your community because you are designed to be like that 1 in 100 people. Like if you think about living in a more tribal fashion and, there's 100 people in a village, there's one reflector, and we all look to you to assess how we're all doing. Are we in collective harmony? Are we healthy and well and authentic overall, or are we not? You have a very special role. You are like the energy leader, in the fact that you're reflecting our energy back as a collective. People are really looking to you. So one of the biggest things that you can do as a reflector is really making sure that you are focused on taking care of yourself so that you can show up for other people. And in that, your very first skill or like tool that is your greatest best friend is discernment. So Shayna was kind of just talking about this, but this is your power. As a reflector, you are never going to be able to change people on a dime or like get your family to like stop being toxic and start being healthy overnight. Like you cannot do that. I know, if only you could. And as a reflector, you see those things and you feel it so deeply and with such embodied knowing that it can be really difficult to see people that you love or environments that you've been in for a long time being unhealthy. Like that is hard, and you feel it so deeply that it can be painful. And it's like, well, what can I do about this? And honestly, the thing that you can do, that you always are empowered to do as a reflector, is to be discerning, to remove yourself from those environments or from those people. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It can be, I'm removing myself from my relationship with this person in these ways. I'm no longer going to go to their house or answer the phone, but I will text them. Like, you can make these, it doesn't have to be all or nothing, black or white. You can create boundaries that are supportive for you and that take your energy back. But discernment is your power, and you are always able to do that. If there's a space that you're like, this work environment just feels horrible for me, you are empowered to change the environment that you spend time in. And never forget that you can always do that, even if it's in little ways. Like I said, not all or nothing, but like, I'm going to eat my lunch outside of the office alone, because as a reflector, your body's so sensitive, your digestion is so sensitive that when you're eating around other people, you are kind of digesting their energy. So let's say you are in a work environment, like a physical environment that doesn't feel good to you. Even just creating that one little boundary, that one piece of discernment, I'm going to eat outside alone, even though that's like not allowed, I put in quotes, like I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to figure out a way to just create that space for myself and create that boundary, because I have the power of discernment. So that discernment piece is always there, accessible to you in some way or another. And now that is an important tool. But here's the next thing that's really important for you to pay attention to, is the difference between discernment and judgment. This is a really important thing actually for you, because your not self theme as a reflector is disappointment. And when you feel disappointment, it's usually because you judged something instead of discerning around it. And now what I mean by that is, if a relationship in your life, for example, you're just feeling like this person is not healthy for me to be around, I don't feel well in my being or in my body when I'm around them, and so I'm going to create some boundaries and create some space. That's discernment. If you feel all the same things and you say, so this person is bad, and I'm like labeling them as that, and I'm going to carry these like negative emotions when I think about this person, that is really when you slip into judgment. Now, the remedy that you can focus on so that you make sure that you're being discerning and not judging is compassion. When you carry compassion within you so that you can really understand people, you can have a neutrality around their experience, and you can have healthy discernment around whether or not you want to be around them or what boundaries you need. And all of this is really important, because if you slip into this judgment, like labeling people good or bad, and you have charged emotions that you're carrying around it, you are going to be brought into your not self of disappointment. Life is going to feel really disappointing for you. And that's actually going to kind of dry up the magnetism of life bringing you incredible surprises and things to experience. So it benefits you to really be focused on compassion, on understanding, but still maintaining that discernment. Like that is actually the recipe for you. And one of the most beautiful things about our reflectors is your capacity for compassion. I swear, like the reflectors that I've met, I've never been around anyone who I felt more seen and more understood from them without even needing to explain myself. And it's different. Like when I'm with a projector, I can feel really seen and really guided, but it also does feel like they peered into my soul and it feels a little bit vulnerable. Like I just got penetrated by this projector. Yeah. Whereas a reflector, it feels like I sit with them and when they reflect my energy back, it's like, you just get me. And there's this like symbiosis in our energy because you're literally mirroring my energy back where I feel so understood by you. And I feel like you just have such a depth to hold my experience. And it's such a healing gift, right? There's an ease there. Like as a reflector, you have this non-obtrusive energy actually. So as a protector, you have quite an intense penetrating aura, but as a reflector, you have this like non-obtrusive, just like I can just sit here with you and I can just be in this space with you. And that type of compassion and understanding is a deeply healing gift to other people. And it helps you as a reflector stay in discernment instead of in judgment, which helps you overall be more in your self theme or signature theme instead of your not self theme.
Yes. And I think that it's important to remember the balance that's needed between the two. Like, if you are discerning and taking action, you're always going to start creating opportunities for things in life to come in and surprise you, which is your self-theme, feeling surprised. But if you are not discerning or taking action, then and maybe you're just really leaning into compassion and letting that compassion run the show, you can keep yourself in toxic relationships or toxic environments longer than you need to be. And that can then create disappointment, right? Of like, this person is just letting me down constantly, or this job is just not what I wanted it to be. And I just feel so disappointed by life. I feel disappointed by this environment, all of it. And so just knowing that there is the balance. Like if you are only discerning and then it turns into judgment and then you feel disappointed by the world, or if you are only compassionate and only giving everyone the benefit of the doubt and staying somewhere way too long, you're going to experience disappointment in that person or that thing. So it all like you are designed to take action. And I think that sometimes here's the little bit of a roast for you reflectors, that because you are allotted that, like, take your time, like you need a lot of time to make decisions, take the 28 days. And because you are so compassionate, you can slip into this place of complacency of like, okay, I'm just here. These are my circumstances. These are my people. Like, this is just what it is. And you can live a long time in this place of deep down feeling disappointed. And so it's really like taking your power back, like Dana was saying, leaning into discernment. Right now in this moment, you have a choice of what you're going to eat, of the way you're going to drive home, or the conversations you're going to have, or the way that you're going to get ready for bed tonight. Just these small little changes that you can make can really get you into a place of opportunity for different surprising people, places, things, drinks, food, whatever, to pop into your life to just bring in that energy, because that really is the sweet spot, right? When life just feels like it's full of change, because you are designed to be full of change.
Yeah. Okay. And let's get into the 28-day thing and your strategy and authority. And I really want to highlight the fact that as a reflector, you are a deeply intuitive being, I want to say. And the way that you feel your intuition and your soul's knowing is through the body. It's through your entire embodied sense of like, I just know that this thing is right for me, that it's healthy for me, it feels right. So when you're using your authority and you're making a decision, one of the biggest challenges is allowing your partner, it takes so long for you to make your decision. As a reflector, you need so much time and space, and society is really not set up for that. And so it can feel like you get into this flow of just like giving yourself time, but then you never actually make the decision. And in that time frame, it's easy to allow your partner or your child or your family member or your boss to make the decision for you. So one of the things to be really aware of is to make decisions for yourself and to find the little places where your partner sort of made the decision for both of you before you had enough time. That's a really empowering thing for you to be able to focus on. And when you're using your authority, like I said, what you're ultimately feeling is a complete embodied, like every cell in your body knows that this thing is right for you. Now, the reflector authority of waiting like a 28-day lunar cycle, if you're reading about human design from many different sources or many different teachers, there's probably going to be a lot of teachers who explain this in a different way. Like you'll definitely read people talking about soundboarding as a reflector, and absolutely it can be helpful to soundboard throughout that month as you're making a decision to bounce things back off of trusted people who feel really good to you. It also can be really helpful for you to be in environments that you love and to just spend time in that environment as you're digesting this decision. Ultimately, it can be really helpful to journal every day, because throughout those 28 days, different things are illuminated within your being. You're going to feel like a totally new person in each day, and you might experience that decision in a new way. So journaling on that, keeping track of it, really just coming back and analyzing it over time and allowing it to change. But the big thing that we want you to know is that ultimately you will get this sense of just absolute clarity in your body, and it doesn't need to make sense to your mind. And clarity is sort of like a feeling almost like falling in love. Like once it happens, like, and you're like, will I know? And yes, you will. And if you don't quite have that feeling yet, like I just know that this job is right for me, or I just know that this decision is wrong for me, then give yourself more time, soundboard more, journal more, go to those environments more. But ultimately, your source of intuition is reliable. And that's important, because when you read things online, you might see them say you have no inner authority. I put in quotes when they say reflectors, your strategy, wait a 28-day lunar cycle, authority, no inner authority. We don't like that phrasing, because you do have access to your truth through an embodied sense of clarity and knowing where it just feels right in your body. And it's just not coming from one defined center the way that other types might have that. And that's why it says no inner authority. But the big thing we want you to know is that you are an intuitive person. You have access to your own truth. You get to guide yourself in your life. You are not reliant on your partner or on other people to guide you. And it's important that you know that, because I feel like the messaging can be confusing in the human design space. It can feel like, oh, am I completely reliant on the other people in my life? Am I completely reliant on the environments around me? Do I have no choice and no power? Remember, your discernment is your power. Your authority is your power. You just have a very different process than other people.
Yes. And let's now talk about the collective and everything that's shifting and the new paradigm and where reflectors fit into all of that, and how we navigate this time. Because obviously there's a lot of collective chaos. There's a lot of environmental shifts that are happening and social things that are happening. And reflectors are feeling everything right now, right? They're feeling that collective chaos. They're feeling those environmental shifts and those social changes and all of those things. They're honestly meant to be amplifying that. And if the world feels loud to you right now, it's because you're designed to feel the whole world, and the world is loud right now. And so I think that having some filters can be really helpful, right? That discernment piece. One thing that I think, or two things that you can really focus on, is who are the people in your life right now that feel good, and who are the people that don't. And that can be a really hard pill to swallow. And that can be really, yeah, just hard truth to face.
And also like the communities, like because we're all online on social media and, you know, for example, you listen to a podcast like this, I feel like there's a community around the content that we take in and the perspectives that we see from the world. I think focusing on that too. So it's still like the people involved in that, but I just wanted to say like being really aware, taking the pulse of like this community when I'm following this news media channel or things like that. Like it feels unhealthy to me, or it feels like toxic for me to reflect or to hold in my body, versus this other one. It might be sharing hard truths about things that are not great to hear, but the community aspect, the people involved in it, they feel healthy, they feel honest, they feel authentic, right? That's the differentiation.
Yes. So I think that in this time where things do feel so overwhelming, focusing on like being more ruthless and honest with yourself about who are the people that feel good and who are the ones that don't. Same thing with environments, like being ruthless with like, I just don't like this city anymore. Maybe it's time to move. Maybe it's time to change. Maybe it's time to travel if you don't know where you want to move to. But like actually taking the action steps to be like, I don't like my work environment. I'm going to do everything I can to work from home, or whatever the change is that you need to take. Being ruthless in this time is what's going to help set you up for more alignment and safety and stability, but also love and connection and just like more of a healthy, vibrant energy as things are changing so much in this new paradigm, because things are just going to get more and more and more and more chaotic and crazy. So your anchor in this storm is alignment, and that can only come from the people around you and the environment around you feeling aligned in your body.
Yes. And in the same vein, I feel like energetic hygiene is very important for everyone, but it's very important for reflectors. This is kind of what I was saying at the very beginning with your open aura, sampling aura, but also you have this Teflon energy. It's like if you're not doing your energetic hygiene, it's easy to close yourself down and to try to like stifle your sensitivity and your empathy. And that doesn't serve yourself, but it definitely doesn't serve the world around you. In the new paradigm, we desperately need our reflectors to have their energetic hygiene, to be regulated so that you can continue to reflect back to us the changes that we need to make to be more whole, more healthy, more harmonious. So what is your energetic hygiene as a reflector? One of the things is, everything we talked about being discerning and making your own choices for yourself, that's part of your energetic hygiene for sure. Environments and limiting the communities or the spaces that you go to that don't feel good, that's energetic hygiene for sure. But also with environments, reflectors are really sensitive to their physical home or their bedroom that they're in. This is one of your tools for regulation and energetic hygiene, is making sure that your bedroom and your home feels good to you. So reflectors are really sensitive to like the feng shui or the energy flow of a space. We always like joke when we make human design memes that reflectors love hanging out with houseplants. It is literally so true. I've met so many reflectors that just love having plants in their space because it's this healthy, vital, vibrant energy in their environment that feels really good to their body. So this is one of your tools for regulation. Get some houseplants, clear your stuff out, make your space feel really good to you. Paint, really like introduce colors that really support you and that feel good in your body. This is something that you can do to really help yourself. Another tool for regulation and energetic hygiene is just clearing out your energy every day and practicing non-attachment. So we always say like journaling on who am I today is such a powerful thing to do. But at the end of the night, you really have to let that go and not try to carry it mentally into the next day. So this is something that reflectors can do on accident. It's like you take in a person or experience and you experience it so deeply that then you can feel like you need to hold on to it and make it part of your personality or bring it with you into the future. And that attachment can kind of create stuck energy in your energy body, and it makes you dysregulated overall. So creating rituals in the evening about releasing, whether that is just taking a shower or taking a bath and using water to release, maybe that's smudging and burning smoke, maybe that's sleeping alone zone. Maybe that's going out into your yard and putting your feet in the ground and practicing just clearing out your energy and giving your energy to the earth beneath you. But have a practice where you are clearing out. Have tools to make your environment feel really good to you. Spend more time in nature. Those things are going to help you stay regulated so that you can continue to feel the world with the depth that you're meant to, because we all need you to keep feeling. When the world is chaotic and messy, it's so important that you don't close down, because you have this very powerful and sacred role to feel it all. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself energetically so that you can continue to do that.
Yes, I think it's important to know that like your sensitivity in this new paradigm is not weakness. It never has been, but this is your perception, and what allows you to be this mirror to tell us as we're navigating and rebuilding, like what's healthy, what's not, what's in alignment, what's not, what systems are working, what systems aren't, what needs to be transformed. Like we need you to tell us that and reveal that to us and show that to us. Really reframing and seeing your openness as wisdom, because it really is. Now, wisdom without any action, like that doesn't serve you. So that's why it's important that you see your wisdom, you learn from it, you act on it, you make those changes, because the world needs the mirrors. They need that reflection point just as much as they need the leaders and the people. I mean, I think that your ability to say, this is where we're at and this is how it really feels, that is leadership energy. And so seeing yourself that way and owning it, taking that action, giving yourself time still. You don't need to rush yourself at all. But I want to say the boundaries piece is so, I think, a part that gets skipped over a lot when we talk about reflectors, and not feeling bad when you need to have a boundary is hard, because you are so open and so sensitive to how your boundaries might impact those people around you. But knowing that it's for your health and that's for the health of everyone else around you, and that you need that to be able to be in alignment in your life and to have your own power. The last thing I'll say is that there are some things that you can look at in your chart for consistency. And I think that's really helpful. Your profile is one of them. Looking at your profile and seeing how you teach and how you learn, seeing the different gifts that lie within your profile, that can be so grounding and supportive. Also, looking at the different gates that you have, they're going to be activated through different times of day and different days of the month based off of the moon. But just understanding what those qualities are can be supportive. But also, I want to say understanding your cross of incarnation is always consistent, and that can give you a really good foundation of understanding why you're here and what your purpose is. So if you're just going to lean into like two major things within human design or within your design, I would look at your profile and your cross of incarnation for support. And hopefully this episode has pepped you up to be a discerning queen, because we need that energy now more than ever.
Yeah, and I honestly was just thinking about the reflectors in my life that I know personally and how I've felt healed by them. And it's really such a magical feeling to be seen and reflected fully back by a reflector. Like I was saying before, you have this aura that when we're sitting together and you're reflecting someone back, it feels like we're the only people in the world. Like there's this union and this unity that you can offer based on your sampling aura that feels like so healing. Because I feel like for so many people, we just aren't always sure if we're seen or if we belong or if we're acceptable as we are. And reflectors have this gift of making people know that there can be true love and acceptance and compassion and union, and that you can be felt without being judged, that you can be sensed without needing to explain yourself or change yourself or prove yourself. So I really want to thank all of the reflectors listening for you to just know that you have this healing quality, and that it comes with this softness. It comes with this effortlessness and this naturalness. And sometimes it comes without even sharing words, although of course you are here to share your wisdom. You are here to be heard. You are here to be a leader that's showing us what works and what doesn't work and how we need to change. But also your presence alone, just clicking in with someone and just being there with them and reflecting them back and experiencing them, is such a healing gift. It's so distinctly different than how I feel with other types and how I feel even with other projectors seeing me. I hope that you can really receive this and know that your energy is truly a gift. And we know that being a reflector, being only 1% of the population, being the only of the 5 types that is a lunar type instead of a solar type, you are just so different. That's part of your energetic frequency and signature, is like, you're different. And a lot of reflectors, when you were a kid, you probably always felt a little bit different, a little bit like an outsider, a little bit misunderstood. And the irony in that is that in your highest expression, you heal other people by understanding them. And we know that it's a deep feeling to make sure that you feel like you understand yourself and like you recognize yourself in a world that doesn't fully get reflectors. But just knowing that you're such a special gift, that you are so cherished, that you are so coveted, and that it was a bold ass choice for your soul to choose to come into this lifetime as a reflector. You have a really special energy, and just the rarity of it and the uniqueness of that journey of being, so misunderstood by the collective, but then being a beacon of healing understanding that you give other people. It's really, truly healing for the world. So I just wanted to say thank you to all the reflectors listening. I hope that you can see yourself in that lens, and I hope you can understand yourself through that lens, through the healing gift that you give in understanding other people. That is how you learn to understand yourself. And the belonging that you give to others, that sense of like, I'm here with you and you belong here, that is how you heal the belonging in yourself. It's how you heal the belonging in your world. So we love you, reflectors. Thank you for being our 1%ers, our unicorns. Thank you for being our cosmic mirrors that we can see back ourselves in. And also thank you for going on the wild journey of allowing life to bring you those surprises and allowing yourself to change and flow and let life move through you, because it honestly spreads so much magic and inspiration in so many other people's lives. And it shows us a more flowing, receptive way to exist as a leader in the future.
Yes. So per usual, you know where you can connect with us more. If you want to connect in person, we'd love to see you at a retreat or in Human Design Besties at our monthly circle. We'd also love to learn with you. We have so many different courses and different offerings. So if you're feeling called to dive in more and learn and teach human design, you can find all of the things on our website, daylunalife.com, or on our Instagram at DayLuna. And we hope that you just got the pep talk that you needed, because you deserve it. And we're so grateful for you in our lives. Thank you for tuning in with us today. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to follow along and learn more about human design.